Right, so getting towards the end of this particular one. It's taken a while, but needs a bit of a clean. It does actually run, but not on the track, so that's pretty useless to us. So we're gonna give it a bit of a clean up and see if it will actually run on the track. Really should have found this out before I spent all this time, I guess, but hey ho, as they say. So just going to unclip this, and it's pretty grotty inside. You can see lots of bits of DNA and hair and fluff and all sorts of body parts in there. So it's a bit grim. I should have been wearing gloves, although I've had a shower and a disinfectant bath since I've been doing this. So I'll put it on this rolling road just to keep it elevated. And I know that if I put some power into the pickup rails, it's working fine. So we know the motor runs fine. If it doesn't, there's not much we can do about that because they're not really serviceable as far as I know. But I did actually test that earlier. So yeah. So we know the motor runs. I think I mentioned that before anyway in the earlier videos. But look, you can just see the mess on the wheels. So we need to give it a bit of a clean. So I think to make it easier, to give me better access and be able to sort of, get all around the wheels, I'm just going to take these connecting rods off. And just try to keep the coupling rods and the screws all together in a safe place and all in the same order, because they are slightly different. So when it goes back together again, it's much easier if you know which screw goes where, because they are a little bit different. I'll show you when we put it back together again. So just try and keep it in order. Put them to one side, left to one side, the right to the other side, just so you know which goes where. So now I think to clean this, I think just using a cotton bud and some solvent may take a little bit of time. So we're going to bring out the big guns and introduce our 08 to Mr. Dremel, and his good friend, the wire brush. And this is on the lowest power. This is on number 2, which is the lowest power, as you know, on a Dremel. And I'm going really lightly. I don't want to dig into it too deep and lose the shape of the wheel. Obviously they need to be round, but I'm just trying to polish off some of that grime and detritus and whatever it is that's on there. It's awful, but there you go. But judging by the look of the 08 when we started, I'm not surprised. So I need to clean the inside as well, that's where the pickups connect, where they get their power from. And then we're going to clean off the pickups, and I've used a screwdriver just to scratch off the worst, and then this carbon brush, glass fibre brush, beg your pardon, to clean off a little bit more. Now it would have been easier, in all honesty, to just take the wheels off the axles. But the problem you have with that is that I think it's called the quartering, is where the coupling rods are not the same on both sides. They're in different positions. So trying to keep them in the same place so that it goes back together a lot easier. There's enough access around this, so it's not too bad. So I'm giving the ends of the pickups a final clean, just a piece of tissue on a cocktail stick with in some alcohol, just to give that a clean. It's not too bad actually underneath there once we've got the bigger chunks out. So let's test it now. Sitting on the rolling road, gives an indication if the pickups are working fine, which they seem to be. I'm going to try it the other direction. So that bit's all working okay. We need to try it rolling a little bit later on once we've got the coupling rods refitted. And we need to change these traction tyres. This come without one of the traction tyres. Body wise to replace them, they're you know, they're not expensive. That one's probably perished and they go a bit shiny in the end and are of no use. So just oil that one off with a sharp implement. So I've got a little screwdriver there and refit these, which can be a bit fiddly. Once you've got one in place, it's quite obvious how to do it. So I'm just holding it there and just sort of stretching it around. It's just an elastic band at the end of the day. And just make sure it's not twisted. So easy to do that. And then pop the other one on the other side the same. And then just make sure that they fit in the groove. There's a groove machined into the wheel. They need to fit snugly inside there. Just have a go around and make sure it's all in place. And that's them done. Obviously the traction wheels are not part of the pickup, so we didn't need to clean those. But we do need to clean the side of the chassis because it's absolutely filthy, as per the rest of the model. So for the last time we'll bring out this particular brush. This has gone now in the bin because it's cleaned everything. It was the one that we cleaned the original paint off with, but it's had it. So we'll clean off that grunge off the side of the chassis, ready for painting. And we're going to paint this in the next part before we refit the body. So with the coupling rods ready to go on, just bear in mind that the screws on this particular model are different for each of the wheels. So the outer wheels are going to be different to the one in the center, and you can see there's a little piece up there. Now on the middle one it's going to be longer because it has to go through 2 layers of the coupling rod. Not on all 8s, it's not always the same on those. Sometimes it's just a straight bar and all the screws will be the same, but on this one it isn't. Just be mindful of that when you take it apart. As I say, put it in the correct order to one side, then it's easy to refit. They need to go home fairly tight, the screws. You probably can over tighten them if you try really hard, but they just need to be, oops, they are fiddly. They just need to be yeah, I mean reasonably tight, but don't overdo it because you will strip the thread on either the screw or probably the wheel, and then you're going to be snookered. Pop that last one in place. Now because we didn't take the wheels off the axle, we know they're going to line up. The other side will line up perfectly now once this side is in. Try it again on the rolling road. I've fitted both the sides now. Pop it on the rolling road and hopefully, fingers crossed, there it goes. Looks a bit, got a bit of a wiggly bum, but I'm not too worried about that. Works in both directions. Let's see if it actually works on the track. There we go. Perfect. So our next part and our final part will be to refit the body. Once we've weathered the chassis, refit the body. I'm going to put some glazing in as well. I'll show that very briefly, and then we're pretty much done. So thanks again for watching this part. It'll be part 6. I'm not sure. I think it's part 6. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next part.